everyone, so today is my first Q&A video. I'm going to make a few of these, but this is the very first one. And the other day I posted an Instagram photo asking you guys to ask me whatever questions you wanted, fitness related or not. So we're going to go through them, and I've also asked my Snapchat followers to ask some questions and send through their videos, which I'll film and then put on the YouTube video later. Okay, so if you saw this photo on my Instagram and you put your comments on there, you could be one of the questions that we're going to go through. Okay, first question. Where do you get all your shoes from? That's a good question. Most of my shoes probably come from either Foot Locker, the Nike store, or Eastbay. Every now and then we'll get some online from different websites, but generally I like to try them on in that, because you know, if you buy shoes, especially when you've got a lot of shoes, you don't want to be buying them and then they don't fit properly and then you don't wear them, so it's just a waste of money. Okay, next question. How many times a week do you train calves? Probably twice a week. So generally I'll split my leg day up into a quad workout and a hamstring workout, and then I'll train them on both days, and they're generally 4 days apart. If you're only doing one leg day, I still recommend doing them twice a week. Just put it on at the end of another movement, like say on the end of back day or on the shoulder day, whatever. You have to go hard. So I get asked this question a lot. How do you make your calves grow? Well, you got to go as hard as possible. You got to go heavy, you got to go bounce reps, you got to go pause reps, you know, squeezing and holding at the top. And you've got to do 3 or 4 different movements. You've got to make sure that you actually stimulate the muscles from different angles, and you've got to do the volume too. So 4 sets on everything. Calves can go up to 20 reps as well. There doesn't have to be 10 to 12 reps. So next question, where do you get this sweet chili light sauce from? I cannot find that shit, man. Sweet chili light sauce is only available from Coles, not Woolworths. It's in the Asian section, near the soy sauces. Okay, when are you going to do your next competition? Okay, that's probably one that a lot of you would have asked. When am I going to do my next competition? Probably next year, so 2017, if I've got the time. Because I'm opening up my gym next year, I'm going to be obviously spending a lot of time and focusing on that, making sure that it runs well. If I've got the time and the energy to do a competition at the end of the year, I will. If not, I'll do it the year after. What is your most used supplement and why? Protein powder. It's simple as that. Why? Because you need it to refuel after you work out, repair the muscles after you've damaged them, and I also use it in my breakfast, in my oat shake, so I'm getting it in twice a day. In saying that, I'd have creatine in both of those things as well, but I think protein powder is more important because it helps you to rebuild muscle and obviously create protein synthesis. Now this is a good question. Hey, my question to you is, do you think fasted cardio is really good for fat loss, and will you lose a lot of muscle doing it while shredding? So my take on cardio is, I think that fasted cardio, longer duration works better. I've done both styles. I think HIIT works as well if you're already lean and you just need that little bit of a push to help your body burn a little bit more energy than what you're already doing. I think that if you've got a greater amount of weight to lose, you're better off doing low intensity fasted cardio. Reason being is that the longer that you do it, the more calories you're going to burn. Now the benefits of doing HIIT over low intensity is that you continue burning fat even after you've stopped doing it, where low intensity you're probably just going to burn it for the half an hour to an hour that you do. But in saying that, you're going to burn more. So yeah, in terms of the muscle loss, I think that HIIT is better for muscle retention, because it's just like doing weights really. You're using your carbs as your main energy source, to which you will then burn fat later after you've stopped doing it. But low intensity, I think you can probably lose a little bit of muscle doing it, but if your main priority is to lose weight, it's still better. Just make sure you drink BCAAs and glutamine while you're doing it. As simple as that. Alright, so we're going to move into some of the Snapchat questions, and I'm going to film you guys on there. So let's open them up, shall we?
My man, Eddy Ung. My quick question is, what is the secret to getting shredded glutes for the competition stage?
Shredded glutes. Woohoo! Now that's a hard one. Alright, so I'm probably like one of the only guys that I know of that does all the isolated glute work, and I only do it because it wins me my competitions. The glutes are probably the one body part that I like to have that not many other competitors have, and that's from doing kickbacks, hip raises on the Smith machine or with a bar, abductor machine. Now these are all girly movements. If you see guys doing them in the gym, you're like, why is he doing that? But at the end of the day, you got to think to yourself, if you're a bodybuilder and you want to train every muscle in the body, you got to do what you got to do. Now, I know that there's also other ways of training your glutes, doing heavy deadlifts and shit like that, but I've always just liked the isolated movements because they really target specific areas of the glutes and where you want to bring them up. So dice glutes, do your isolated movements, and don't care about what other people think of you in the gym.
How many times do you train arms so it gets like to your size? Because it's pretty huge, eh?
Pretty huge, eh? So I do one arm session a week, coupling bis and tris, and then on shoulder day, I'll just do one exercise, 4 sets, and I'll superset bis and tris. So for instance, at the end of my shoulder session, I'll do a barbell curl and a rope push down, supersetting them, and just do 4 sets of that, just to keep the blood in there during the week until I can hit arms again later in the week.
How old were you when you first started lifting?
Okay, so I was 14 when I first started lifting. I was in year 9 and I started school a year earlier than everyone else. I kind of just started the real basics though. So once I turned 15, 16, that's when I started to kind of implement an actual routine. When I very first started, it was just lifting whatever. I didn't separate the muscle groups or anything. So I'd say properly at about 15. Alright, we've got a few more videos coming through now.
Eddie, if you go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice before you started training, what would it be and why?
Okay, I really like that question actually. So if I could go back in time, and so I started at 14, right? Now, most guys these days starting around 18, 19, and they're already like as big as me. So if I was to go back in time and give someone my age at the time, so 14, any advice, it would be learn how to lift properly and eat clean foods, okay? Because when I first started, it was all about moving as much weight as possible, being the strongest guy in the gym, and then just going out and eating whatever, and I didn't really know anything about nutrition, okay? So when I started eating right, and I got a diet plan sorted for me, that's when I started to grow. And when I realized, like, okay, I'm copping injuries left, right, and center here, I need to stop fucking throwing weights around and do the techniques properly, that's when I actually started to grow, you know? It didn't matter how much weight I could use, as long as I stimulated muscles properly, that's when my body started to respond. So if you're a young lifter, learning weights, go and see a PT or watch YouTube videos if you don't have the money to see a PT, and just learn properly.
What is your background?
Jeez, I was like full waiting for the thing. I'm thinking, oh no, there's going to be like some dick pic or something coming up. But it wasn't. Anyway, my background's half Chinese, half Italian. Mum's full Italian, dad's Chinese.
Where do you want to... how long have you been doing bodybuilding for, and since when did you want to start? At what age? Another question, Eddie. What motivates you every day to get up and do what you do best?
Okay, so I kind of answered this before. I started at like 14, that's when I started training, but I didn't start bodybuilding until about 19, so I was pretty late. I left high school and then started training just 5 days a week, and then I decided the year after that, when I went to uni, that I wanted to actually compete and do bodybuilding. So then when I was 20, that's when I did my first competition as a teenager, because you can still enter the teens as long as you were 19 at the start of the year, and I didn't turn 20 till February. So that's it. So part 2 of that question, what motivates me every day? I would probably say that I constantly think about how I can better myself, and I don't know why. I guess I'm a competitive kind of person, or I just know that I can always be doing more. And in this industry, you're always looking at other people and what they've done and what they've achieved, and you tend to compare yourself to them, whether you mean to or not. Like, I find that I always do. And sometimes I just got to tell myself, bring it back and just focus on yourself. So you probably would have seen heaps of captions that say focus on yourself, but at the end of the day, that's all you can really do, because if you worry about what the next guy's doing, you're not going to really get anywhere by comparing yourself to them. You're only really going to progress if you just put in the work and do your own thing, and that's what I do. Oh, here we go, Shredder, Sam Hortz.
Eddie bro, if you had to take bananas or Pepsi Max to an island, which one would you take?
Here's a question. Do you prefer rubber dumbbells or iron dumbbells? Or is that not even a thing for you?
Sammy, you funny man. Pepsi Max, bro, of course. Don't worry about bananas. You probably find bananas there on the island. So Pepsi Max all the way. And rubber over iron rubber, 100%. 100%. Alright guys, that wraps up today's video. I'm about to head to bed. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. See you tomorrow.